deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Fearless Podcast, episode 11.
Episode 11.
They just keep on coming.
They just do.
Like a freight train. Boop, boop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're cranking them out for your listening pleasure, and I hope y'all are enjoying this as you're riding down the road or doing whatever you do.
Today you are rocking the Fearless Podcast t-shirt.
If you like some Fearless Podcast merch.
I'm rocking all Transformers are Decepticons.
That's true, y'all.
There you go.
Just saying. So if you need some merch, check out thetexasboys.com.
Yeah.
And get whatever you need over there. So today we want to talk about our homesteaders right-wing extremists.
Interesting.
And
interesting topic.
This topic is revolving around an article.
Okay.
Let me put this up on the screen, y'all. So this is an August 11th article from Rolling Stone. And this is about our many people's favorite YouTuber, Wrangler Star. And check out this title, y'all. He taught people to make bombs, and YouTube is helping him cash in. Well,
come on.
First off, listen.
Yeah. Chill out.
Yeah.
That is the last platform you could ever do anything like that on.
And we're gonna talk about all of this weird duplicity that is on YouTube.
That's true.
That is very interesting. Secondarily, you're going to kind of see how this is obviously a setup.
Yeah.
And they're setting the stage for, whatever they want to do. I feel really bad for Cody and that they're trying to make it an example of him. But, at the same time, you do have discretion. You don't have to tell everybody everything, No. You don't have to show everybody everything you got.
Awesome.
And some ladies would be some very wise advice to many ladies in this postmodern, post-truth world. You don't got to show everything you got. Okay, so
true.
Now we're not talking about guns, we're not talking about ammo, but
no, we're talking about your body. But anyway,
but there's a tip there. Don't get upset. But okay, this is a United Nations peacekeeping helmet. Says a middle-aged white.
Oh my word!
He is a supervillain.
Oh my word!
Says a middle-aged white man in a denim shirt. It just screams white privilege.
Denim shirt.
With a red bandana tied around his neck. That's obviously his gang colors, y'all. In a TikTok video, he holds an iPad up to the camera, displaying an image of the familiar blue helmet worn by UN personnel deployed in post-conflict areas of the world. It's constructed out of level 3A plus armor, he explains. That will effectively stop all handgun rounds up to 44 Magnum, including a 12-gauge shotgun. What it will not stop is a 5.56 and pretty much every North American hunting round known to man. This is 54-year-old Cody Crone. And, of course, they have to dox him and all that stuff.
Of course.
A.K.A. Wrangler Star. A homesteading content creator in Washington State who shares tips and tricks for manly rural living, calling himself a professional homeowner. He advocates for a return to so-called traditional value. Shows off high-end workshop tools and Forest Service gear.
How dare him?
Enjoys meals cooked by his submissive wife. Praises God.
Ugh.
Takes Viking baths, his
Disgusting.
term, for regular plunges in a cold river. See, they're trying to make him a white supremacist, y'all. This is so hilarious. Viking baths.
This would be they wouldn't even write this if he was black.
No.
This would not be happening.
They wouldn't be writing this if he was
Anything
but
than,
Wrangler style.
Yeah, exactly.
His 2015 book, Modern Homesteading, published by the Christian imprint New Leaf Press, recounts how he moved his family from a comfortable city life to embark on a journey of self-discovery in the rugged landscape of Washington, romanticizing the Pacific Northwest. He definitely does that.
He does, yeah.
But over the years, Crone has drifted away from content comparing cordless power drills towards videos espousing right-wing conspiracy theories.
I actually wish he would make more of his cordless drill videos because they were awesome.
They were pretty epic.
They were pretty epic.
Some epic drill videos.
Yeah.
But now he's espousing right-wing conspiracy theories.
Did we say he's white?
Did
we say that? Okay.
That says white wing, not right wing. No, I'm joking. That is the need to fortify and supply one's home for a looming catastrophe. Amid a lot of generic, helpful home improvement fare like how to repair a garden hose, he intersperses warnings of a coming struggle or apocalypse that will upend society as we know it. Much of Crone's content now refers to this bloody cataclysm just around the corner in a March YouTube guide on how to be a modern-day Minuteman 2023, referring to the elite mobile militia troops of the American colonial period. He says, I want to be able to respond to a call if there's a call to arms. He doesn't exactly name targets, and he doesn't identify with an extremist group or movement, which gives him cover to keep hinting at deadly political conflict. On YouTube, where Crone maintains his largest audience, 2.4 million subscribers, he's able to skirt guidelines while teaching viewers how to fashion tire spikes and primitive alarm systems with fish hooks that catch on an intruder's face.
What the heck?
Ouchie.
I haven't seen any of these videos.
I missed those.
I missed all these videos.
He's recommending ammunition for firing upon Boston Dynamic police robot dogs.
Good.
Yeah, like
amazing.
Who wants to be
genius?
Why do police need a robot dog?
Even scarier.
And
yet,
apparently nobody at Rolling Stone has seen the movie RoboCop. So then there's that. Like,
very true.
DARPA, giving advice for how to commit arson without getting caught and demonstrating how to fill a water balloon with oil and sand to lob at an occupying force. If we could use air quotes somehow every time these people air quote him, it's hilarious.
It's a lot.
While taking him out of context while quoting him.
It's nuts.
After imparting such techniques, he almost always tells his viewers, act accordingly. Then there are the guns.
Scary.
This year,
Crone, they mean assault weapons.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year, Crone went viral for a YouTube short in which he dons body armor and loads up multiple firearms, including an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle.
Those just like kill people at random, like they do. Like you don't even have to touch them; like they will kill people.
Well, they are an assault rifle.
They assault people all the time.
Just to venture outside in Portland, Oregon, a city commonly portrayed in right-wing propaganda as overrun with Antifa thugs. Well, it kind of is. Does anybody remember Chaz? Okay,
come on.
There was Chaz. Okay. Scrolling the Wrangler Star page, you'll encounter regular flashes of wild conspiracism. Crone has alluded to the 1986 Challenger shuttle explosion, which killed 7 crew members, as the greatest money laundering scheme in the history of man. and speculated in a YouTube live stream that the government would force unvaccinated people to surrender their pure blood and reproductive juices. He makes forays into regressive gender politics. In one clip, he says that he says that were he a young person considering marriage to a Western white woman, wow, they got the alliteration in there, he would demand a virgin. And Krohn has tiptoed right up to the sympathizing with Nazi-era Germans, which he caveats only by saying, I'm not making excuses for Mr. Mean Mustache Man. And then they have to say, i.e. Adolf Hitler. Since everybody that reads our stuff is a moron, we have to tell you.
They can't put two and two together.
Adolf.
Oh,
yeah,
my
it's
word.
so overt and it's so brainwashing that they have to spell it out for you.
So retarded.
And tell you
So stupid.
what he's saying in air quotes. It's like, yeah, this is their readership. So.
And a lot of like what Wrangler Star has been doing is it's a lot of parody stuff.
Yeah,
too.
of course. And and they're, as would I do a lot of that stuff? No, but everybody has their own personality.
Yeah,
everybody,
absolutely.
And this does raise a lot of questions, right? Because obviously guns are demonized. They've been
Correct.
labeled assault weapons, which we know that there's no such thing as assault weapon. Weapons don't assault people. People assault people.
Correct.
Okay.
People pull triggers.
So you have, weapons, weapons in the hands of a madman or a bad man or a crazy man does bad things, and weapons in the hands of a good, righteous, and just person does good things and protects people.
Yeah.
And
evil people will always have guns.
That's the
period.
premise.
End of story.
Yeah, and this is the premise we have why police officers are allowed to have guns, right?
Yeah.
That's the premise. That's the only reason. And that may not always be that way. Just ask England. They don't have any guns there.
They just got clubs to club people with.
But, this does raise a question about these different gun channels. And we like guns. We respect guns. We enjoy guns. And they're fun. And we act responsibly with guns and all these other things. And, and if you have a firearm, you should know how to use it properly.
Absolutely.
And you should know
how to maintenance it,
how
clean
to
it
maintenance,
properly,
how to act around it, know all
respect
the rules of respecting guns and the proper
knowing your surroundings while firing a gun, where the bullet's going to end up, even if it ricochets and different things like that. Yeah.
But what is interesting, how all of these gun channels, relatively speaking, you're thinking about like Demolition Ranch, Kentucky Ballistics, the guy that curses a lot.
Grand Thumb.
Grand Thumb. The other spinoffs from Demolition Ranch, like the guy that's running for Texas Senate, Herrera, or
no way, he's actually running for Senate.
He's running in down
I think
in
he's
San Antonio.
I forget what his name. Something Herrera. Yeah.
And you think about all these channels that have kind of been left. I mean, I'm sure they've probably been demonetized as far as ad revenue.
Yeah.
But they're left up to just mindlessly shoot stuff and mindlessly blow stuff up. And as long as it's done in this dude perfect type retarded, mindless retarded fashion.
If it's tactical, oh no, we'll take that down.
Right. But if you're just blowing stuff up for the sake of destroying perfectly good stuff to get views and, just literally wasting money and all this stuff,
it's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine, and it continues to get an enormous amounts of tractions, an enormous amount of views, and obviously, YouTube heats all that stuff. Just like YouTube could easily shadow ban Wrangler Star and make him disappear.
Goodness. Make him literally disappear just like us.
I mean, we've done that. We've seen that. We see how that works,
Yeah, exactly.
So there's lots of these weird, bizarre questions, and these same questions go for different channels that put out good information.
I mean, even if you look at Wrangler Star's history, he went from being super top-notch video guy. I'm talking like some of the highest quality videos on YouTube.
Tons of edits, tons of
edits, all types of stuff. And then
high-tech equipment.
He has his, what do you call those? His YouTube manager. I guess that's what you'd say, or
He
or,
has he signed
contract.
with a channel.
Yeah.
He signed with a YouTube channel.
so they tell him what to do.
I think right before he hit 1 million subs.
Yeah. And then he really switched up his video game all over to mainly just all shorts and then a couple videos here and there. And I don't know, it seems like it totally destroyed his channel because his shorts get amazing views. Like, I'm talking incredible. He was going viral. Like, every video was going crazy, and it still is going crazy, just the shorts and stuff. And he edits those really well. But then when he would post a normal video, it would get like 20,000 views, 30,000 views for a 2 million subscriber channel, which is nuts. So it was really interesting how YouTube was forcing him into this corner of you are only allowed to make shorts, and these are the only shorts we want you to make. So yeah, it's really interesting. And some of the video, I've actually really slowed up watching it and then the normal videos that he does post, they're really not as high quality or as interesting as they used to be, because he used to actually do a lot of tradesman type stuff, and it was really interesting and you could learn from it.
Yeah, it was
and a
very
lot of the
interesting.
stuff now is a lot of ADD stuff, and I'm just like, I'm not getting anything from this and not interested. Sorry, buddy, but you should go back to what you were doing because it was amazing what you were doing.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was awesome.
And
the dovetail stuff and all.
Quality,
it was incredible.
The quality of the craftsmanship, the quality of the videography and the editing. It was just
top notch.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And it just kind of went to the wayside.
Yeah.
So, and it is sad that didn't know that he was using TikTok, but I guess that's a West Coast guy.
Which is really weird too.
Yeah.
TikTok, the whole TikTok phenomenon is weird.
Yeah, and him being like,
besides the fact
supposedly
that
a freedom lover, and
TikTok's
everything,
owned by the CCP.
Come on, dude,
and ran by it. And I mean, I'm not saying that YouTube isn't. YouTube's owned and ran by Incutel and our
100%.
government, so it's
100%.
basically the same thing.
It is really the same thing.
All of our stuff's commie light. So.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
Replying to a detailed list of questions about his content and the motivations behind it, Crone tells Rolling Stone, "My videos are for entertainment, and if someone happens to get some useful information from them, great. If anyone is misconstruing my videos, that is regretful."
Yeah, that's true.
That's
yeah.
it's a pretty good response, I think.
Yeah.
It's a metered, measured response by a thoughtful person. That would be accurate. Addressing whether he sympathizes with Nazis or wish to downplay their crimes against humanity,
What the
he
heck?
says, "Obviously, I disagree with what you have written and the allegations of your questions." Yeah, because that's a normal, rational, reasonable person would say that. And Rolling Stone is just a left-wing hate monger rag. You know what I mean? And here, I'll show you a perfect example.
Yeah.
Warning of the end times while brandishing lethal weaponry and peddling bizarre falsehoods and innuendos is not in itself a violation of YouTube rules. Hey, Rolling Stone, I got one for you to look for. Somebody tell me what is a violation, because we've gotten 5 strikes, and
my
I've asked
goodness.
these morons a trillion times, and they couldn't tell you with 5 teams of lawyers what anybody does wrong. They can't point it out. They can't date and time
They
stamp it.
love it. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
They have it. It's a rigged system.
Yeah, and then Rolling Stone's going to tell me how he's not violating their arbitrary, indiscriminatory rules that are so vague, like you wouldn't even know if you were violating it or not.
Very true.
But it marks an important shift for Crone, who launched the channel in 2010 to document the constructions of a wilderness homestead, then gradually developed an interest in survival tools. In 2016 and 17, his reviews of these products began to draw millions of views.
Well, yeah, because stuff's, it changed. Everybody's viewpoint started to change. That was right around when everybody started really getting into the prepping deal, and the internet and YouTube was starting to really get some good creators on, and they were actually starting to put out some really awesome content about this stuff, and people were really catching on and learning all this stuff. So of course, he jumped on too and got in on it.
Crone followed this with pandemic era exhortations to buy his emergency food kits, and monologues like why I no longer support the police. Furious rant, which likewise garnered outsized attention. Indeed,
I watched that video. It was great.
Yeah, so
it was
did
awesome.
I. And you know what's interesting? Rolling Stone wrote all kind of trash about defund the police and praising BLM and all that stuff. And then if you have like a ordinary common man's version of why the police are unnatural brute beasts and they're unconstrained and they're out of control, like that's a problem. But defund the police. But defund the police except when it comes to Wrangler Star.
Yeah.
Then, you should appreciate and support the police.
I'll say this. I mean, there are still a couple good cops out there. Mm-hmm. I just had a run-in with one. Our truck broke down, and then he came on over and stopped, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, this is either going to be good or
really
bad.
Good or really bad.
Really bad, yeah. So, but he was really respectful, and he didn't ask for our names or anything like that. He didn't ask where we were going, where we were coming from, or anything like that. And if he did, I would be respectful and tell him,
of course,
because I don't want to get into anything with anybody. I was very polite, yes, sir, and everything like that. And he was like, it was like 100 degrees out. So he was like, do y'all need any water or anything like that? And just asked if we were okay and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, we're good. The truck just broke down and our mom's on our way. And he was like, okay, sounds good. And then he left, and that's awesome. That's great. You're a peace officer. That's what you should do. You should help out people. You shouldn't, flog them. So it was good. I was like, wow, he's a pretty legit guy. So I'm like, I guess there's the 1% right there.
There are still good officers.
A couple of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully you have a good sheriff.
I hope so.
In your town or county.
And if you do, treat him with lots of respect and maybe make him a pie and take him a pie or something. Keep him happy.
Indeed, Crone has appeared to benefit enormously from the waves of radicalization that rippled through internet culture thanks to COVID-19, adding nearly 1 million subscribers in the past 2 years as he leaned into his outlaw prepper persona. Now, y'all.
Outlaw. Wow.
This is Rolling Stone, right? Rock and roll, hate God, rock and roll, worship the devil, all that stuff. And, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, rebel against cultural norms, be the opposite of law and order. It's rock and rebellion and long hair and all that stuff, right? And then they're going to try to paint Wrangler Star as an outlaw prepper persona.
What the heck?
I mean, cut me a break. This might as well be Better Homes and Gardens, right, in this article. Like, it makes absolutely, it's so
weird.
It's so inept, it's bizarre. While his comments are a mixed bag of supporters and detractors, it says, while his comments are a mixed bag of supporters and detractors, I don't know what that means. There's no telling whether someone will put Crone's more irresponsible recommendations into practice. It's alarming to see content that he offers instructions for doing damage paired with content that promotes a generally paranoid worldview, says Jared Holt, a senior research analyst at the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, who studies the intersection of tech and U.S. political extremism. I promise you this is a communist organization. It's funded by the CIA. I don't even have to look it up. It's funded by some government grant. That can be a volatile cocktail, and I worry that it normalizes types of violence. Another theme among Wrangler Star's comments is ridicule over his fixation on the U.S. Forest Service.
Yeah, because he's been in it and he loves it.
Yeah, but they're going to try to.
What are they going
to
say?
Dox him and say that he's faking.
What?
Yeah,
his son is doing it now.
An agency he claims to have worked for until he was fired over a YouTube video in which his son could be seen wearing his USFS hard hat. In an email to a request for comment, the agency said they had no record of Crone being employed by the service. Crone clarified in his own comments to Rolling Stone that he had only trained with the USFS sometime around 15 and 16, taking classes on chainsaw operation and wildland fire behavior, and gaining certification as a tree faller, though it would likely take some time to find documentation of that. The criticism is sharpest, however, on the anti-Wrangler Stars subreddit. Wow. So we got to go to the deep recesses of subreddit.
Dude.
Which, I mean, I'm sure if we all go to subreddit, there's some hating subreddit. I'm sure we have one.
Oh,
and if we don't, we do now. Thank you. You're welcome. There you go. Which Crone's most devoted haters have maintained since 2020. A few of those Redditors are delusioned former fans who complain that Crone has gone off the deep end. One more indication of how his brand has changed. Crone has embraced the polarizing effect of his burgeoning extremism, attracting both rubberneckers and acolytes. To those aligned with him, Crone's ideology is as plain as day. The advice on stockpiling, security measures, and isolated self-sufficiency. So wanting to be self-sufficient is isolationism.
What the heck?
And like locking your doors are like undue security measures. And like having security cameras, this is so unbelievable. Yeah. Is all a piece with anti-establishment politics. Well, I actually don't think there is such a thing. If you're anti-establishment, there is no such thing as anti-establishment politics, I would say. But because that would be the opposite of politics. Dr. Susanna Crockford.
Oh, good.
An anthropologist at the University of Exeter who has researched preppers and survivalists, say such messaging, however, lacking in detailed prediction, encourages people to be afraid and ready to defend themselves and their property with violence. Well, how do you defend yourself or your property without violence? What do you do? Do you shake a sunflower at people?
Yeah.
I mean,
be like, love is love.
Oh, hey, don't break into my house. Hey, crackhead, don't break into my house. Don't steal my stuff. Don't hit me over the head and crack me in the head.
Dude, it's like what they do at Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Hey, don't steal that, buddy. He stole it. Too bad.
Yeah, it's like your house is now Target or something. And, it's like we live in San Fran and we live at the Target, and homeless people can just walk in,
hey buddy,
crap in the middle of the living room, and take all your stuff.
We love you and everything, but you should leave. I don't even know if they can say that.
Probably
not.
It's very offensive rhetoric.
Yeah, that's true.
That's expensive rhetoric. Hey, let's pause here for a second to bring a message from our good buddy Chuck.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chuck DeLaurenti here, your private family banking resource. With the banking industry in another tailspin and the Fed ready to raise interest rates again, many of you are asking, when will this madness stop? If you're interested in learning how to establish a family banking system that will reside outside of today's mainstream banking insanity, you'll want to schedule a call with me, your sponsor here of the podcast from Private Family Banking. There's a way for individuals and families to create a pool of money, put that money to work, earning continuously compounding interest, and have that ever growing pool of capital available as collateral for cash and for financing investments, businesses, college, and other major life expenditures without going to the big banks for loans. Imagine having control of your cash assets in a system that is free from the big bankers while enjoying liquidity, access to your money, safety, security, seeing your money grow continuously, tax protected, knowing that your money is immune from the stock market losses, growing your money at guaranteed rates, and having your precious wealth stored away with protections from court judgments and lawsuits, and ultimately the thrill and peace of mind that through having your own lifelong banking system that will pass along wealth to future generations and avoid the death tax on your estate. You can do this. If this intrigues you, go to protectyourmoneynow.net and download my new free ebook, or just call me, Chuck, at 830-339 9472. That's 830-339-9472, and schedule an appointment today. God bless.
All right, y'all, back to the article. With his rhetoric, she says, Crone also indicates that people need to take care of themselves.
Idiot.
And cannot rely on anyone beyond themselves or their immediate social group.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to trust in the government and the science. It's just what do we need to do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
Sir.
we need to consult Joe Bribin.
Come on.
Okay. But okay. People need to take care of themselves, and they cannot rely on anyone beyond themselves or their immediate social group, like one's family or local church. What terrible advice! What a white supremacist,
I know,
government hating moron.
just his white privilege.
This attitude,
Showing.
meanwhile, sows distrust in government institutions. Yeah, we can't blame the government institutions and the rank fraud and the international racketeering ring. We can't blame that on distrust in government institutions. No, which comes to be seen as encroaching invaders. Well, when they hire 87,000 new IRS agents to harass average, middle class people, you could kind of see that as encroaching.
And they gave them all scary assault weapons too.
That's true. Dr. Michael Mills, a criminologist at the University of Kent, remember Kent State, who researches American doomsday preppers, says Crohn's content. I think that was supposed to be constant or no.
Or content.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't read. I apologize. Crohn's content. I'm tired. Sorry. Crohn's content illustrates the strong linkage between survivalist ideology and political extremism. I've repeatedly found that prepper culture, its online ecosystem, expos, and other public events plays a role in hardening the views of those who enter into this community. So you're seeing this overarching gun community being totally subverted and demonized.
Yeah.
Right.
And the prepper community.
Yeah, because there's
and the homesteader community.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, preparation,
They're
homesteading.
like, it's terrible. They can't get brainwashed. It's so bad.
It all bleeds together.
They don't watch CNN.
The desire to grow your own food, to know where it comes from, to know what's in it. Because why?
Try the strain
because
with
you
the
don't
government.
trust the labels. Maybe because of all these left-wing documentaries by all these tree huggers that told us that they're poisoning the food, right? And this is why we're not left or right. It's about right and wrong. It's not about left and right.
Correct.
And there's plenty of people on the left that brought very good things into our awareness and put out great information on it. But just because they were from the left didn't make their message wrong.
Correct.
Some of these same people that were on the left are waking up and moving to a more centralized position.
Yeah.
Whereas, all these fake writers that are really just conservative left-wingers, they're drawing the right that way.
Yeah. I mean, look at stinking Fox News.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Fox
people
News is
are
the
like,
perfect
I don't
example.
watch them anymore. But I'm like, they've always been like that.
They've always been like that.
They've always been
They've
like
always
that.
been fake. They've
It's
always
not
been
just
sold
because,
out.
Tucker left and now
Yeah.
I felt, no. It's
They've always
it's
been
always
Operation
been like that.
Mockingbird. Tucker even admitted that in like one of his first. He said that they paid him. Tucker's worth $500 million, y'all.
Yeah.
Tucker will always be worth $500 million. So you always have to consider that when you listen to what he. I'm not saying it's going to disqualify what he says.
No.
But he can't be like us versus them when he's worth $500 million. He is
Correct.
them, and his dad is CIA.
Correct.
So there's just a lot of moving parts there.
Yep.
Let's see. A politically moderate person looking for ways to manage plausible threats like hurricanes or earthquakes may be receptive to preppers' doom-laden proclamations, Mills explains.
What a
so
shame.
you might be some like politically moderate person and you're like, oh, well, what if there's a hurricane or an earthquake? That's a good reason to prepare. And you're going to get sucked into this doom-laden right-wing
You might
white
think
extremist
about what's going to happen tomorrow. You just might think about that.
My good friend Billy Bonds at the Permaculture Pimpcast, he is an incredibly white, right-wing, not white, extremist. So that's kind of funny.
That is funny.
Freudian slip there.
Oh, man.
But
that is
that's
funny.
hilarious.
Oh, that's
okay.
funny.
Crone can continue stringing viewers along this way indefinitely because he keeps his pronouncements.
You like how they have to keep using his last name, too? Just to keep doxing him the whole time? Because I never knew his last name was Crone.
And I think I did. I think it was in one of his books or something. I forget.
Okay.
I forget how I knew that, but yeah.
Okay. I never knew that.
They're going to keep doxing him. The next thing you know, they're going to post his new
Crone.
address.
Yep.
You know.
No joke. Yeah.
Crone can continue stringing viewers along this way out indefinitely because he keeps his pronouncements on the futures vague enough that they can't be disproven.
Well, of course.
Well, not only that, but there's an inordinate amount of facts and the things that he's saying, and you're watching things unravel, and these facts continue to align. So not only can his vague...
Which he has to be somewhat vague because he'll sting and get banned on YouTube.
Well, not only that,
So,
I mean, nobody knows when whatever is going to drop and when,
Correct.
however it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the communist agenda is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So and that's why it's done that way. He avoids being too specific about what may come, when it may come, and exactly how bad it may get, Mills says. This aligns with the sentiments held by many 21st century preppers, which reflect a broad uncertainty and anxiety around the future. Well, I would like to see one of these left-wing loony jobs have this, like, glowing
peace and tranquility.
All of these like global warming alarmists, we're all going to be dead by 2013. Oh, wait a minute. 2023 or whatever. You know, we had 13 years left like 10 years ago. So where's all the peace and tranquility and serenity now?
Yeah.
Do we have a serenity now over there?
No, we don't have a serenity now.
That was supposed to be on the soundboard.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
We have that, though.
That's pretty close.
That's close
okay.
enough.
So, you know, that fella right there is very angry. He is not like projecting serenity and harmony with his fellow men, that man.
Ouch.
So,
ouch.
Crone did not answer a wide range of in-depth questions about his political views.
I can only imagine why.
And the meaning of various statements he made in his videos. Many of our videos are comedic and satirical and definitely not intended to cultivate antisocial or unlawful behavior, he explains by way of summary. In the days after he began corresponding with Rolling Stone, Crone added almost this exact disclaimer to his YouTube videos.
Okay.
Of course, because they're just trying to misconstrue everything he does and says.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. And you know what that is? That's wisdom. That's somebody that's wise, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, you're going to try to distort and discredit every single thing I say. So since we live in the land of legalese, I'm going to put a disclaimer on here just so that nobody takes this the wrong way.
Correct.
Right? But he's wrong for doing that as well. He's wrong for clarifying. Holt doesn't buy humor as a defense for Crone's channel. That's right. Yep. You can't be funny anymore. You know, that's why they've censored and vaporized all these comedians, you know?
Yeah.
Comedy and satire was one of these really very effective ways to say very difficult things and say truth to power and all this stuff, right? And that's why they got to censor and vaporize these people and eliminate them, right? That's why, you know, that's why they do this stuff, because humor, Holt doesn't buy humor as a defense for Crone's channel and says this sort of line is common from people who are creating toxic material when they fear they might be about to face consequences for what they've been doing. Because sticks and stones will break my bones and words are very painful. That's this postmodern mantra, right? It's ma'am, right? Just ask the guy that doesn't know if he's a boy or a girl.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Somebody called him sir. and he had a little hitch in his giddy up, right? And so
He said it in the most ladylike way.
he was very genteel.
He could do it.
when he declared his femininity.
Yeah.
I will say that.
That's true.
Holt argues in a blatant attempt to avoid considering the impact of their behavior. Instead, he says Crone offers a juvenile plea of ignorance and an attempt to deflect responsibility and introspection. So what Holt believes is that Cody should be sent to a re-education camp. And they've done this stuff, y'all. I mean, you just ask Kanye West. You can even ask Jordan Peterson, man. When they send you to the booby hatch, man.
Wait, they did? Jordan Peterson?
Well, that's a story for another day, but
okay.
but
wow.
Yeah, they did. But anyway,
I haven't seen any of his content.
I like
lately.
Jordan Peterson on the whole, but yeah, he's definitely
Really?
been mind controlled. But he's a smart fella. But anyway, while YouTube has long been his bread and butter, Crone has managed to keep pace with an evolving internet in order to stay in the public eye. Last year, he expanded his digital footprint with a TikTok account that quickly became the fastest growing part of his online enterprise, amassing almost 700,000 followers. Apparently less concerned with TikTok's guidelines than YouTube's, he grew especially bold there, at one point sharing a video in which he turned a Roomba vacuum into a potential bomb by loading it with the explosive tannerite.
Scary.
He uploaded the same clip to YouTube, but later removed it from the platform. A rep for the site notes that their guidelines specifically forbid bomb-making content. Well, first off, tannerite is tannerite. Tannerite is not a bomb.
It is not a bomb.
Tannerite
you
does
have to shoot it with the
when
bullet.
you shoot it with a round, with a high velocity
High
round.
velocity.
But that,
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy that on the shelf. You're not making a bomb if you buy a thing of tannerite.
Yeah.
And just because you put tannerite on a Roomba doesn't make it a bomb either. And it's a legal item that you can purchase.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have a special permit or anything.
No,
So,
which is awesome.
yeah. Crone.
It's the way it should
Yeah,
stay.
we like tannerite. We shoot tannerite.
Absolutely.
We tried blowing up a stump with tannerite.
With
and
5 pounds of it.
Yeah, it's not that. It makes a lot of noise, but other than that,
Yeah. You
it
need
just
a
makes
lot of it.
You need an inordinate amount.
I've seen the
And it's
videos on
very
YouTube
expensive.
where it's like a 55-gallon drum. Now that
would blow something.
that'll
up.
blow something up.
And that wouldn't fit on a Roomba.
No.
But Crone also used TikTok to suggest tactics for deflating tires on the vehicles of authorities trying to carry out a no-knock midnight raid. Well, should authorities be carrying out is a no-knock midnight raid illegal? I mean, would you want anybody to carry out a no-knock midnight raid on your
for
property?
real.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, you come and talk to me in the
Dude.
morning when I'm awake. Like, don't be
For real.
knocking and kicking in my door. And for sabotaging parking meters in liberal cities to deprive them of revenue. Do you see how
What the
ticky-tacky and knick-knacky and
It's like-
the depths that they have to stoop to try to make this? I mean, not only that, it sounds so benign.
It doesn't even sound like
It sounds like they're trying
It's
to
so made
They're
up.
trying to make Pee Wee Herman sound like Rambo or something.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind of
know.
funny. It's so weird.
it is. Yeah.
After Rolling Stone brought the UN helmet video and other clips to TikTok's attention, the company deleted Crone's page. A TikTok rep confirmed
Really?
that Crone was banned for repeatedly violating their policies. You know what's crazy with all the child pictures and stuff, and terrible exploitation of pictures of children and women that go on all these platforms, that go on Instascam and go on Facebook and all of these different. And Rolling Stone has no concern over that.
Oh yeah. No.
They have no concern over any of this stuff. But, they're mad at Wrangler Star because he put a little bit of tannerite on a Roomba vacuum. I mean, wild.
And whatever he was. I don't know. I'd have to watch the video to see what the whole what
of
his
course.
reason was.
Yeah. While our investigation is ongoing, I can confirm that it did not monetize through our product features this year. And we've so far not found an indication it did so before that, the rep said. Another Wrangler Star branded TikTok account with more than 200,000 followers has preserved clips, including a guide on breaking into buildings and a screed about pushing back against police officers by showing up to their houses to confront them. It's unclear whether Crone operates the account or someone else is reposting his content.
Oh.
It sounds like it's somebody else. And
Yeah.
It sounds like they're purposely conflating it
Yeah.
to dogpile
Yeah, of
onto
course.
him.
Yeah.
YouTube, for its part, did not remove any of. Here's another thing it's doing. It's whitewashing YouTube, and it's white knighting YouTube, and pun intended. And it's trying to act like it's demonizing YouTube for aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
Crone, because this is going to be the next phase of the wipe and the purge for YouTube, and YouTube has a good, nice, tidy little packaged reason here to do this. So here you go. This is why we have the Fearless Podcast, y'all.
Correct.
Like, share, subscribe. We're on all your podcatchers. They super hate us, super shadow ban us. We get like 300 views now, and it's because they love us, because we're radical white supremacists.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Apparently.
And I had nothing to do with the color that I was born. My skin, when I was born, I had no control over the color of skin I have.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's what all racist
Neither
people
did
say.
you, son. You're exactly right. You've learned well.
All white supremacists say that.
That's
that.
every white supremacist's excuse for
That is true.
not having control over his skin color. What
Idiot.
about Michael Jackson? I mean, now Michael Jackson, he had control over his skin color. Just saying.
It's
I
true.
guess if you're a billionaire, you can control your skin color. And he messed with little kids too. But okay, YouTube, for its part, did not remove any of Crone's videos or issue him a warning, and continues to generate revenue from his brand.
How dare that guy?
Crone, who has had an ad partnership with the site for at least a decade, was previously featured as an on-the-rise influencer and on YouTube's Spotlight channel. In a statement to Rolling Stone, YouTube spokesperson Jack Milan says Crone's videos have not violated the site's community or the advertising-friendly guidelines for official YouTube partners. As such, they will remain on the platform, Milan says. And this is the part that becomes fascinating to me, where we have different people in our space and in our genre, and they've never gotten a strike.
Yeah.
Right. And they always somehow know which words not to say and which words to say, even though I can never figure that out. I read these retarded vague guidelines, right? And then we get strikes and it says you violated this, and you get a hyperlink to some multi-paragraph thing with no timestamp, no indication of what you actually said. That was
literally all of our strikes have been from watching other people's videos that have been posted on YouTube, and then not even barely commenting on it, and then giving a very neutral response to the video.
Well, the one strike was for when you were 10 or 11 and you showed the buck knife and you didn't even use it, remember?
Yeah, it was like a multi-tool or
that
whatever.
was like a dangerous activity. Yeah, it was a Leatherman.
Yeah, it was a
multi-tool.
Leatherman.
Yeah, and they said that was some kind of dangerous activity.
I forgot that I ever posted the video.
Yeah, and it's because everything's run by snowflakes.
We actually went back and we deleted 500 Texas Boys videos.
Yeah.
Yep. But you can still find them on the Odyssey channel.
Yeah, they are on the Odyssey channel, but we just got rid of it because they'll just arbitrarily take stuff just to nuke you. And if they want you gone, they will nuke you.
100%. It doesn't even matter.
Obviously YouTube is wrapping this package. Rolling Stone is helping them to create this whole entire faux outrage. No one is outraged at Wrangler Star. And just because you have 5 haters on some subreddit of some 800-pound dudes in their mom's basement that hate the fact that Cody can make nice things.
Maybe. They might be, a lot of them be bots too.
Well, there's a lot of bots. There's a lot of signature reduction. There's an enormous amount of these people.
Yep.
Probably half of them are some of these new 87,000 IRS agents that need something to do in their spare time.
Yep.
But, unreal. According to the site's policy guidelines, YouTube forbids content intended to praise, promote, or aid violent extremists or criminal organizations is not to be allowed on YouTube. Though notably, Crone does not seem to identify with any particular radical group. Huh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because he's just like a normal dude. Huh? There's an option. YouTube also prohibits content encouraging others to commit violent acts. Whether Crone risks violating this policy with material like the arson clip, which falls into something of a gray area, is an open question. Milan's statement did not address the assessments YouTube made of any individual video. Holt tells Rolling Stone that Crone is crossing or edging on the line of policies that platforms, plural, have against what's usually called dangerous or harmful content, but that which such rules are useless without rigorous enforcement. If YouTube doesn't see fit to remove this kind of content, says Holt, it would be responsible to at least downrank it in sorting. So
really?
just shadow ban it. So just shadow ban it. Yeah.
Really?
Guess what? They do stuff like that. And when they don't do stuff like that,
And desubscribe people
they're not doing it on purpose.
by the thousands.
So this is this weird, peculiar part of this issue that is a very incredible conversation to discuss is why.
Yeah.
You know, why does he get favor, and why do these other channels, why are they allowed to talk about things that a lot of channels are absolutely not allowed to talk about? Channels that got vaporized in 2016, 2018, 2020. Channels that got vaporized, demonetized, vaporized, disappeared, rabbit hole, you know, down the memory hole. And then these channels continue to get to exist. And then you have all these other gun channels that get to continue to not only exist, but to be pushed by the algorithm to get millions of views. And part of this dystopia is
Clown world, man.
Is the postmodern post-truth. You know, when you have these cognitive dissonance, right?
Yeah.
When you have these two conflicting ideas that literally resonate simultaneously at the same time in reality, that's how you create a post-truth world. Because you're like, wait a minute, well, how come he can do that and I can't do that, and this guy can do it and none of these other guys can do it, you know? And it creates that is I don't even know what's real anymore. I don't know what the guidelines are. I don't know what they want me to say. I don't know what I can't say. And that's exactly how you create this cognitive, and eventually they just kind of expect your brain to seize up.
Yeah, literally.
You know, does not compute because it doesn't make any sense. Crone did not return a request for a comment on TikTok's decision to ban his account, but he did address it in a YouTube live stream, saying that although he was blinded by the company's action, it may have been God's will. My TikTok channel, which was coming up on 1 million subscribers, it got nuked today, he said with a laugh. You know you're on the right path when you start losing channels like that. I'm not disappointed about it. Crone then floated his religious explanation.
How dare that guy?
It could be that this is something God is taking away from me because it was a distraction, he said. That's a possibility too.
Yeah.
Unless you hate God, believe in God, or hate God. Because if you didn't believe in God, it wouldn't matter.
True.
So the only reason it matters is if you hate God. Because if God's a myth and a fairy tale, it wouldn't even matter, and it would be so self-evident you wouldn't even mention it. So the only reason you bring it up and mention it is because you hate God. This leaves Crone with smaller accounts on Facebook, where he sticks to innocuous tool reviews and household projects, and Instagram, which he only updates sporadically, plus his original massive audience on YouTube. And while he is not so brazen there as he was in some TikToks, he nonetheless continues to argue a hyper-militant readiness for some unspecified violent calamity, as in a recent video where he recommended rifles for a battle ahead. Though Holt emphasizes that most people who view this sort of content will not be compelled to act, and even fewer will be violent, he says a slim minority may feel emboldened to take action in harmful or violent ways. Yeah, maybe some mentally insufficient person that's been in some kind of MK Ultra project and that's been handled by a bunch of CIA handlers, like every last insurrection that's been thwarted, just like the Gretchen Whitmer kidnappers. They find addled, like diminished capacity people, and they surround them by feds, and they egg them to do something like blow stuff up, and then they say, this guy's a right wing.
They want to talk about minorities. We're the stinking minorities. We should be able to like get put on blast. I mean, you want to talk about minorities. What the heck? Like,
for YouTube to allow this content on their platform, he explains, is to provide the next would-be attacker or vigilante with the tools they need to act, comparable to scattering instruments all over a stage and inviting musicians into the theater, which is literally what our government agencies do. Collecting people either online or in, this is what I always mention about militia groups. They're all co-opted, y'all. I mean, I wouldn't even consider even remotely entertaining a militia group. They're all co-opted. There's all coadjutors that have been implanted in them. And if the militia group ever got organized to any point where it would be remotely effective, it would be co-opted. Yeah. I mean, look at all the different 3%ers and all these different, Proud Boys.
J6.
They've all been infiltrated. They've all been co-opted. So I mean, hey, this is the postmodern, post-truth world we live in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, Holt cautions we can't say for sure that this is what Crone intends, which gives him the plausible deniability to continue operating on YouTube without inference. Yeah, everything's an illusion, and everything, we can't say for sure. And that's why we got to nuke all of it.
Yeah.
They're wrapping this package up perfect, and this way they can stamp him one way, and they can stamp everybody else. Oh, you don't think Walmart's always going to have food every time you go there? Even though 3 years ago you went there and there was nothing there. So even though everybody experienced the supply chain issues, you're a prepper and you're waiting for and they're getting ready to lock everything down again. They're talking about it, and we're starting to see like mentally ill people wearing masks again. And all of this stuff, and they're already telling you, TSA, they're already saying they're going to...
Don't do it, y'all.
Lock this down.
If I can say one thing
you cannot comply with this.
Do not do it. Whatever it takes, do not wear that stupid thing. If the one thing you can do for society is don't wear a stinking mask. Do not comply.
And don't be surprised if some cross-eyed white dude in dirty clothes gets pinned with trying to reenact some Wrangler Star video. Do not be surprised in the next 3 months.
What do you mean? Reenact a video?
They're gonna
he followed his
he got
deal.
Radicalized by watching Wrangler Star,
and he made a bomb.
And he
killed all these people.
And just remember the World Trade Center and that guy Youssef Salawi or whatever. Okay, and there's a recording you can still find it online, probably in the Wayback Machine. But just food for thought. But yeah, so what do y'all think about that? They're trying to demonize like the most American kind of super white bread, wholesome, traditional lumberjacky, arts and craftsy kind of rugged man, wilderness man. Like this is the stuff that like 1950s, 40s and 50s television were like personified. Yeah. And now it is like the devil of all, all the ills in the world are personified in the professional homeowner. The guy calls himself a professional homeowner. That is hilarious, y'all. That's hilarious, and he's doing it to be funny. Yeah. And it's hilarious. And an enormous amount of what he is doing is an absolute goof.
Yeah.
And you have
100%. 100%.
dorky trolls
Yeah.
at the Rolling Stone and every other left-wing libtard.
Hence why they
whatever.
think he like wears a toupee like 99% of the time.
Yeah, talk
And
about
it's
hate.
like-
Talk about people that just hate on him.
Hate.
And they just want to
Perpetually.
they want to say he wears
And that's why he
kinda funny.
does.
And
That's
that's
why he
goofs on it.
does so much stuff because like
Poor guy.
I bet you that's why he does a lot of the barefoot stuff.
Yeah, leave
And,
the guy alone.
You know, the new thing is with his hat and everything, this new like designer artsy hat, he does it to get under people's
it's
skin.
hilarious. It's great.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that he's doing that and he's fighting back. And that's why a lot of times you see his rifles in the background, you
Right.
know? And
And now
just
look,
always
I wouldn't
there.
do that. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was me, you know, remember that like the 300-pound girl in the miniskirt, you don't got to show everything you got. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You know, that's wisdom, you know. But you know, I wouldn't
Yeah.
do that. But I don't fault he's making a calculated
The one other
decision
thing that I will say that he did say in the video about the Rolling Stone video that personally I wouldn't have said this, but this is what he said, and I really wish he didn't say that. But he said that, you know, he's not always at the house, and sometimes it's just him and his wife, like at the house with the kids. I'm like, dude, I wanted to have said that on the video.
well, he's smart. He would.
Yeah.
He's not dumb.
But-
He's not a dumb person.
I know. I'm like, yeah, but that would be the one thing that I wouldn't have said. But I know that he has like loads of cameras and stuff
Yeah.
like that too.
Yeah,
So.
and he thinks about everything he says.
That's very
before he
true.
says it. So
Yeah.
he's not an unintelligent man.
No.
So, but yeah, it's pretty wild. So you know, comment down below, y'all. Tell us, you know, comment over at the Fountain app. We love the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think about this. The demonizing of homesteaders, the demonizing of Wrangler Star, y'all.
Yeah.
And this is just the setup, and it's probably the setup for YouTube to pretty much
In a
wipe
whole-
out everybody that's not some kind of weird, goofy, pink-haired trainee or whatever. Is
Yeah,
a guess,
literally.
As a guess.
Yeah.
But
Which is kind of awesome because
Yeah, sure, why
that
not?
means we're going to get another platform, hopefully,
eventually,
and then
kind of, sort of.
we'll be able to jump on it before it goes woke too.
So before we close, you got any parting thoughts or shots or anything, Matt? What you got?
No,
No?
not really. Nope. I think
Well,
that's it.
I think that's it.
We had a long day.
I would recommend one thing.
What?
Stay fearless, my friends.
All right. See y'all later.
See y'all.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.